Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back once again to the Big O Show. It's your boy, the Big O here. If this is your first time here on the channel, thank you for stopping by. Do me a huge favor while you're here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's continue to get the views and the subscribers up. I know it's been a couple weeks since I did a video. I haven't really had a whole lot to talk about because I haven't had a chance to see a lot of movies. But I am trying to check some off my list. I did check one off my list tonight, and that was Venom: Let There Be Carnage. So, this is going to be a spoiler review. This review is going to jump all over the place. I'm not going to really give y'all a breakdown from start to finish. So, first off, the movie starts off with, I think Cassidy and, I think Fiona. I can't remember the chick's name that he's in love with. But it starts off with kind of telling their story when they were kids and how he loved her, how they're locked in this mental asylum, and basically how she, gets taken away because the doctors believe her powers are too much to leave her in a regular mental institution. And Cassidy goes crazy, and, he's pissed off and shit like that. So she gets snatched up, and she ends up shooting a cop. She ends up using her superpower, which is basically like a loud-ass scream, and ends up taking the cop, end up trying to take the cop's gun. And gets shot in the eye, and then, she gets shot in the eye. And then the cop, his ears are all messed up and shit like that. So basically, going forward from there, basically Venom and Eddie are pretty much still doing the same fucking shit they're doing from the first film, which is basically still fucking arguing, still going back and forth, blah, 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 blah. To be honest, this movie, to me, I didn't really enjoy. It was a lot shorter than the first film, which didn't really bother me. But it was just something about this fucking movie that I just did not fucking like. I think it was because it was the back and forth of Eddie and Venom arguing. Venom was like, look, I want to do what the fuck I want to do, eat people's heads off and shit. I'm sorry, not Eddie, but Venom was like, I want to do what the fuck I want to do and eat people's heads off. And Eddie's like, no, you can't do that, man. You gotta chill the fuck out. So eventually they end up separating. And Venom goes and, he joins with other people, but they're not strong enough. So they pretty much end up dying after a little while after he pretty much uses them. He ends up in a club, he ends up giving this speech. And this movie just wasn't all that fucking exciting. I'm sorry, y'all. I really am. He ends up giving this speech, and eventually he realizes, hey, I'll get back to Eddie. And then he ends up going back to the shop where the shop, the store, the Asian woman is basically at. And, he joins with her. And, fuck, what else? I don't know, I'm skipping over a lot of shit. He ends up joining with her. And, they find out that, oh, shit, Cassidy's out, broke out of jail. Because earlier in the film, Eddie Brock paid a visit to Cassidy to get his story for, while he's in jail. And eventually, him and Venom eventually realize where he's kept all these dead bodies at. So then, they end up going to, they end up leading the cops or something like that to where the dead bodies are at. So then, he gets sentenced to death, and his chickens are finding out who's locked up somewhere else. So then, Eddie Brock pays a visit to him again because he sends him a letter. And then, he pisses off Eddie because he says some shit about him. And he ends up biting his fucking finger. And he ends up tasting some of his blood, which turns out to be, I guess, some Venom. Not Eddie's blood. So then, Venom, and Eddie leave, and they had that big argument. They split, and then fast forward, Cassidy ends up getting put to death, but then he ends up changing into Carnage and ends up breaking out the jail. That's one of the best scenes in the whole fucking film. And so then from there, it basically leads into this big ass fucking Eddie Brock has to rejoin back with Venom to stop Cassidy. And Cassidy ends up snatching up Eddie's love interest. I forgot what the chick's name is. He takes her to the church. Before all that, or I think in between all that, he breaks this girl out of jail. And they end up just killing cops and all this crazy shit. And it's kind of cool, but you can tell that they're not really the symbiote. And I'm sorry, I can't think of the fucking symbiote's name right now. But the symbiote that Cassidy has, Carnage, isn't perfectly aligned with you know, he isn't perfectly aligned with Cassidy. So anyway, you know, he's like, you know, his girl has a loud scream. As if you guys know, Venom and Carnage can't deal with sound, high pitched sound. It, you know, fucks them up. It splits them from their host. So anyway, they end up going to the church to try to get married. Venom shows up and he automatically like depowers down to Eddie, and he's trying to talk Eddie. You know, Eddie's trying to talk him into like powering back up. He's like, no. And then, you know, Cassidy's like, hey Eddie, I'm over here. Pay attention. What the fuck are you doing? And then, you know, eventually, you know, Eddie talks Venom into transforming, and they had this big ass fight. That was really the only best thing about the movie, was the fucking fight between Venom and Carnage. So they had this big fight, and eventually, what happens? Oh yeah, not Venom, but Carnage is, you know, Cassidy when he's in his Venom state, but when Cassidy is in his Carnage state, he basically takes his he basically like I can't really fucking put it how I want to say it. Basically, you know, he's in his Carnage state. You know, Carnage basically is like, look, you know, don't, you know, he tells the girl, don't scream, because obviously it fucks up Carnage. And, you know, basically it's like Carnage doesn't give a shit about her, but Cassidy does. And so Cassidy, you know, he cares about it. He wants to be with her, but Carnage doesn't give a shit. So anyway, Cassidy ends up, you know, he's in his Venom state, he's in his Carnage state. Sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. He's in his Carnage state, and basically he's fighting Venom, and they get to a point where, you know, Carnage has the upper hand. And he's, you know, pretty much got Venom down against the ropes until, you know, Venom sees, oh, I got an opportunity here to stop him. So he ends up pushing the girl off the roof. She falls. She lets out a loud scream, and it pretty much splits them up enough to where, you know, Eddie Brock is able to get his Venom back, but Carnage is able to rejoin with Cassidy. So, you know, Venom eats the symbiote, and he kills Cassidy by biting off his head. And, you know, that's basically it between them two. And the cop, I almost forgot, there's a cop pretty much here from start to finish. So the cop who got shot, not the cop who got shot, but the cop who shot old girl at the beginning of the film, you know, he lives, he becomes an older detective or whatever, that's basically hunting after Cassidy after he breaks out of jail. And so then him and the girl get into a fight outside of the church. And old girl ends up trying to take his eye out, basically saying an eye for an eye, because he shot her in the eye. So I believe she's blind in one eye. And so at the end of the film, when she tries to, you know, kill him, after she falls off the roof and the bell hits her, I'm pretty sure she's dead. Because she wasn't able to let her scream before the bell hit her. You see the cop say something about monsters, and his eyes go blue, and that's it. And then fast forward to the end, you know, you see Eddie and Venom on an island by themselves. And then also Eddie's girl from the last film, she's in the film as well. She's there. Basically, she's getting married to another guy, and that happened more at the beginning of the film, where it kind of sets Eddie off into this whole thing. And so, you know, it is what it is. And so the end credit scene basically is Venom talking to Eddie. They're in a hotel room, and Venom tells Eddie, hey, you know, if I showed you a fraction of what I've seen through my time in space and all this other shit, you know, it'll probably blow your fucking mind. So something happens, and the whole room changes, and the TV changes, and all of a sudden you see J. Jonah Jameson giving his report on, I forgot the dude's name, on Spider-Man, but it's him on a mask. It's Spider-Man on a mask. It shows, sorry, it's late, I forgot the fuck his name is. It shows, what the kid's name is, I don't know, but it shows the kid unmasked, and Peter Parker shows him unmasked, and you see Venom, you see Eddie Brock changing to Venom, he licks the screen, and then, you know, a guy steps out the bathroom, and he's like, hey, what are you doing in my room? And that's basically the end of the fucking film. Like I said earlier, I didn't find this film that much enjoyable compared to the first fucking film. It just wasn't exciting to me, man. There was something about this movie that just wasn't exciting me at all. It was just boring. I kind of found myself being taken out the film most of the fucking time. Yeah, this film just wasn't it for me compared to the first one, which I thought was okay. But I think it just would have been better if they would have just did something different instead of had the same back and forth between Eddie and Venom. Which is something about it I just didn't like. And I do wonder what is going to be the reason that Venom goes after Spider-Man. Like, it just can't be because you saw him on television. You know, it's like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, it has to be a fucking reason. It's one of the things I don't understand. How you gonna have Venom go after Spider-Man without him actually having anything to do with him, you know? So, it's like, because you saw him on television and, you know, you want to go after him? What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. So, I don't know, man. I guess we're gonna find out. He's probably gonna show up in Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Well, anyway, that's all I got for this review tonight. I'm sorry if it wasn't my best. I just got out the theater from seeing it. I'm not really pumped, as you can tell. I probably should have stuck with my good instinct and went to go see James Bond, No Time to Die. I really wanted to see that movie, but then I decided to go see Let There Be Carnage because I haven't seen that. I still need to see Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi, however you pronounce it. And then, of course, James Bond. So, that's all I got for this review tonight. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Let me know in the comment section, what did y'all think about the movie? Did y'all like the movie? Did y'all not like the movie? I know it did a lot of money. I think like 90 million or some shit opening weekend or the first 3 or 4 days. So I don't see how it did that much money. Maybe because it was shorter and they got more people in the theater compared to it being a 2-hour film. But again, leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you all think. And until next time, I'm Big O. And this is the Big O Show, baby. Peace.